looking all beautiful. I stare at it every day. And here's the smoker. This is the pellet smoker I use. It's just a regular Traeger. Any pellet smoker should work. So I just got. Okay, so the lowest it goes is 165. So I usually start it up about 180, and I keep it on there at 180 for about 4 hours. What more do you want on a Saturday night? Muscle cars and barbecue. Alright, so the type of brisket you choose, I would advise get the cheaper one for the first couple ones if you're just practicing, you know, for yourself. $20-$30 ones, Kroger's, Sam's, Costco, and then get the USDA Prime. Once you really get the times right, trust me, it makes a huge difference the kind of brisket that you buy. But I know I practice on the cheaper ones, and then you know, then bought the more expensive kind. Usually you find them at Costco and Sam's. So just a little small tip. So you see there's different price ranges. I usually just look for USDA Prime, and then you can see what size you want. So rule of thumb for me is an hour a pound. So it's usually how long it takes. Alright, so here's the brisket. I have two cutting boards. I have one for the raw before I clean it up and season, and then I have one for after. Just gonna open it up. Like that, I just took this out of the fridge. Sometimes you can leave it out on the counter for about 30 minutes so it can be easier to get rid of the fat, because it's softer, it's not as hard, but it doesn't matter. Alright, so any part of the fat that's real thick like that, you just start getting rid of it, like so. I like this fat here, it's real soft. This is the harder. That means that it's real thick, so you can just start getting rid of it. And I immediately can tell how much easier it is with this boning knife than with regular knives. So but either way, you don't have to have it. I cooked several briskets without this knife. Like I said, I just barely got it. So so we'll keep digging into this one here. Some people leave it, some don't. I don't like to have too much fat on my brisket. Some people do. They feel like it makes it juicier. I think some fat is enough. It'll still come out juicy. You don't need it too much fat. Some people cook it like that and then cut it off after they cook it. It's really preference. This is how I do it, and I'll show you the end result. So.
So obviously this is the fat side here. So you can see how thick it is. So you just want to cut some of it off so you don't have too much of it. And trial and error. That's all it is, trial and error. But you see how much I had already cut off. I don't like all that on mine. Like I said, it's all personal preference. So
you see there's still a little bit of fat here, some meat showing here. You don't want to go down this low, but if you do, oh well, it's not a big deal. It still turns out fine. So I just want y'all to see the amount of meat the amount of fat that you cut off the meat, and don't see why. What's the point of having all that, you know, so, all that fat on there? Better, but however you decide to, in my opinion, there's really no wrong way. You can just play with it. I might cut off a lot more than other people do. My preference. I don't like all this fat. By no means am I a professional, but I have cooked several of these already, and they turn out better and better every time. So let me know your opinion in the comments. If y'all have better techniques, let me know and I'll try them out. We're gonna get better together. So, all right, so it's pretty much that. Looks fine. Anything hanging off you can cut off, but there you go. All right, so this might be weird for some people, but I just like to get some warm water, a little bit of vinegar, and put the brisket in there. I like to leave it in there for 5-10 minutes, just to clean it up some for peace of mind, I guess. Some people are good with just throwing it on the grill like that. For me, I just, this is common practice when I smoke anything. So you can skip this step if you feel like it's not necessary. Either way, I don't think it'll affect any of the cooking. Like I said, I just do this to kind of clean it up some. And I do this after I cut it up. Normally use mustard as a binder. You can use oil as well. One of the main ingredients is grinded pepper. Make sure that you grind it yourself. It tastes a lot fresher. You get bigger pieces of pepper. Any kind of coarse salt. I use either one of these. For ease, I'm gonna use this coarse salt, but sometimes I have used this pink salt. There's no difference. You can use either or, in my opinion. The rub of my choice is the Meat Church Holy Gospel. I have a lot of these in stock, usually all the time. And this is one ingredient not a lot of people use, but I like to use. It's just a granulated garlic. So that's all I use. You can play with them. I know I play with different every time, especially on your practice briskets, and then you can see what flavor you like. But this has turned out pretty well for us, so we're gonna stay with this one. Throw some mustard on there. I'm not shy with it. As you'll notice right now, I'm not shy with the seasoning either. If you think that you're putting too much, you're probably putting just right or not enough. So all that mustard is gonna get burnt out anyways. You're not gonna taste the mustard. At least we haven't. So. Alright, So I usually start with the meat church.
Try to get it all over and on the sides as much as possible. Just get it everywhere. So I'm also going to season it whenever we pull it off the first time to wrap it with foil. I'm also going to season it. Nice. Alright. Need to get me an apron. You don't have to use these, I just try to be fancy. As you can see, it's a lot easier just doing it out the bottom. And you can see I'm very generous with it. So I like to be heavy on the seasoning. You're not injecting it with anything, some people do, and all your flavor's going to be on the outside. That's why I like to try.
Some fat so the seasoning will be closer to the meat. I mean, that's the goal at least. So. I usually don't go too heavy with the garlic. The pepper is usually my favorite. You can really taste it. So I have skipped the salt because I heard salt will dehydrate it, but whenever I did that, I noticed that it wasn't as flavorful. So I don't skip the salt anymore. Should be good to go. All right. So I use any kind of Traeger pellets. I have tried other ones, but they didn't work too well. You got to make sure that they're not all coming apart from shipping. Sorry, that was real hard with one hand. I'm recording with the other one, so you want to make sure you always do fat side up. See that? Fat side up. I still left quite a bit of fat. If you notice, I still left quite a bit of fat. So probably should have cut a little more. We'll see how it turns out. There you go. 11-pound brisket. Another thing I forgot to tell y'all was that you have to make sure that the temperature gauge on your pellet grill is calibrated. The first piece of brisket that I did, I realized that my temperature gauge wasn't spot on. So ever since then, I've been using this one. I still haven't calibrated the Traeger one, so, but since this one has worked out very well, I have kind of stuck with it. So the time right now is 11:19. Fill this hopper up as full as I can. You don't want it to run out. I've had that happen before. Don't want it to happen to you. And right now the Traeger is 177 set at 180, and I'm trying to Usually what I go to is 202. That's the final temperature that I pull it. You want to find the thickest part, stick it in there. This one doesn't, looks pretty even all around, which you typically don't see, but so there you go. 11:20, and we're gonna pull it probably about 3:20 or 5:20. Probably pull it here. I'll probably wait 6 hours, let it be that low, and then turn it on to 225. Wrap it real good. Turn it on to 225. I want to sleep a little longer. Really depends what you want to do. I usually put it in a lot earlier than what it is now, but busy day for me. The cool thing is, if you do it this way, how I'm doing it, the 180, or you can even do 165, is that it's going to take longer. So if you want to prolong the cook it longer, cook it at a way lower temperature at the beginning, 4 or 6 hours, it don't matter really. And just watch that temperature. You obviously don't want it to get too high up, right? You also want to wrap it to capture all the juices. So, you know, I would say about, you don't want it to get over, you know, maybe 160 or whatever, but don't stress about it too much. Just 4 or 6 hours, rule of thumb for me. Wrap it with aluminum, and I'll show you that. But should be it for right now. Showing y'all the beautiful car, because like I said, every time I come in here, I look at it. It needs a car wash. All right, it's 5:38. It's been a little over 6 hours. Traeger is at 184. Brisket is at 139. Oh yeah. You can see all the juice starting to come off. We're gonna go ahead and pull it off and wrap it. I like these because it has the rubber handle. I have burnt myself on ones that don't have them before. Look at all that smoke. That's why I like to keep it at that low temperature. And I get to sleep a little longer. So, still has a good amount of pellets in there. We're gonna go ahead and just top it off again. where people spray it with apple juice or grape juice, so it doesn't look so dehydrated or dry. I don't have any. I'm not gonna stress over it. It's fine. So. Back up. I'm going to go to 225. Fill this back up. So that's at brisket is at 142. Our goal is 202. So we'll be back. I'm gonna go back to sleep. Be back in about 4 hours and check it out. So the more you do these, the more confident you'll be on the times. I have had some briskets that have been tough, some that I didn't leave on there enough, some that I went too long. Practice. I read some videos where some people come out and spray apple juice, grape juice every 2 hours and spritz. If you have the time for that, great. It's gonna be better. I like to be more of a put it on, come back, wrap it, and be done with it. It's just with the amount of time that I have. That's the cool thing about the pellet smoker, that I mean, it keeps the temperature that you want it. You don't have to worry about it. So that's works for me, and you'll see how good it comes out. Hang tight. I don't know if y'all ever smell somebody smoking out at night. It makes you want to do it too. I know my whole house smells like it, which is it's wonderful. I always tell my wife I'm that neighbor that you can always see smoke coming out of their backyard, and it gives you that motivation to get out there and do it yourself. If only I could share the smell with y'all. It's incredible. Hey, reason, waking up early for barbecue, for brisket, or anything that you have on the grill, it's a lot easier than waking up to go to work. You actually really want to wake up quicker when you're cooking a brisket and excited that your whole family is gonna try it out. So, yeah, you're beautiful. All right, I'm just walking out here. Right now is 9:15. Brisket is at 192. So an hour or two and it should be ready to go. I've not opened it since I wrapped it.
Hi, Daddy.
Say hi. Say hi.
Hi.
Say hi. Bella, say hi.
Hi.
My name's Bella.
Hi.
Say, my name's Bella. Good job.
Hi.
Say hi. My name's Ava. No. That's what the teens draw. Anybody wondering, this is a Traeger 575 Pro. If you see, don't pay attention to the probe since I don't have it attached. This is right here. But the temperature did hit 202, so let's go ahead and remove it.
I want to go play some.
Okay.
Bella, please.
Okay. Go jump.
Bella.
Daddy life. Alright. There you go. Let's pull it off. Make sure that you trust the temperature. Just pull it off. I don't even think you have to open it up. I know I never do. I trust the temperature, especially if your temp gauge is calibrated. You should be fine. All right, see what it looks like. One more thing. So we're gonna let it sit on the counter for a little bit. All right, so let it sit on the counter for about 15 minutes to 30 minutes, or you can put it in a cooler, whatever you want. I just let it sit on the counter. Okay, so we're gonna pull it out of the foil. A lot of the juice did come out. You can wrap it a lot better so some of that doesn't come off, and you can keep all that juice inside while it's sitting on the counter or in your cooler. Get rid of all this. Still working on improving my cutting skills, but let's see what this looks like. So this is the fat side. We've been cooking with the fat side up, so we're gonna turn it around. I found that it's easier to cut with the fat side down. So So you see, that's the fat that I was saying that you want to trim as much as you can. That seems like a pretty good meat to fat ratio though, but you can do it however you want. This one here looks like it's a little tougher than normal, but it still looks pretty damn good. So just keep cutting. You're gonna have areas on the brisket that are going to be more fatty and some that are not. So we're going to do, you pretty much got to decide what section is it that you like. As you can see, this one's more fatty. You can see all the juice coming out. That one is a lot more juicier. And like I said, you see that one's more pull apart. Some people like it like that better, some like that. It just personal preference. You can give the people your choice as far as what they want. My preference is more of this side, that's the juicier and just falls apart. So that's usually my favorite, but you can have whatever you want. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and taste it. Here it is. Let's do a taste test. You can see it pulls right apart. Seasoned very well, very flavorful, kind of what I was shooting for. Very, very flavorful. Like I said, you can play with the seasoning. If you don't like it, if you feel like this is probably too salty for you, don't season it as much. I advise to start with a little less seasoning first, and then just increase after you go through a couple practice briskets. But like I said before, if you get the USDA Prime, you're gonna get the better quality meat, and then it'll definitely translate on your cooking. But very flavorful. The seasoning stuck very well this time, so it's yeah, you can really taste the flavor. So, and this is our favorite seasoning combination here, and I'll keep playing around with it. You can make brisket sandwiches, brisket tacos. You can make you a dinner plate, whatever you want. This will last a whole week. Remember, this is 11 pounders, one of the smallest ones. It can go up to over 20 pounds, and it'll take longer to cook, obviously. So this one. This is the final shot. It's a success in my opinion, and it'll just keep on getting better. So enjoy. All right, so we have some rain in the forecast. My plan was to show a little bit of the car, but I have to cover it up since it's raining. Okay, y'all can best let us. Let's move a little bit. As in y'all, I mean me. It's just beautiful. Okay. All right, so just a brief summary. When you go buy the briskets, make sure you get a practice brisket, one that's possibly a choice, not a USDA prime. They're cheaper. Get those first, practice a couple briskets. The first one's not going to be perfect. You just got to, it's just trial and error. You're going to play with the times, the temperatures, the different size of briskets. So many things. The amount of fat. You see how much fat I cut off the brisket, and you see how much juice is still there. So I think you just got to figure out what your family or your guests really prefer. So like I said, temperature, I use Traeger pellets, and a temperature at 180. You can go 160. I found a sweet spot at 180 to get the smoke, and you did notice it was smoke ring. So I mean, the flavor is extremely well, but you can figure out what seasoning combination you want. All right, let me cover this car back. Yeah, so in my opinion, the highest to go to when cooking a brisket at 225. You can go 250, but I like going 225. I found that's best. You can go 210, and it's just gonna take longer to cook. Then move it to 225. It depends how much time you have. For me, I live a very fast-paced life, so my time is limited, and that's why I like going the pellet smoker route. I have had wood smokers brisket, and it's probably better than this. But if at the house, in my opinion, if you're very time limited, this is probably the best route to take. We're learning together. If any of y'all have any tips or anything I can do or try, like I said, I'm still learning and getting better as well. Put it in the comments below. Give me your suggestions, and hit the like button, subscribe button if you haven't subscribed, and I appreciate every single one of y'all watching. Love you guys, and God bless.